Back to the roots of our show. Once again, we return to where we came from with Apple TV's Silo. Well, not exactly where we came from. Still waiting on Severance Season 2, whenever the hell that's coming.
Waiting for Season 3 of Ted Lasso to wrap up so we can do some fun discussion on that show again.
Oh, yeah, I guess we should do that. Because, yeah, I really like Ted Lasso. Roy Kent is still my spirit animal, but I do try to be more like Ted Lasso.
So does Roy Kent.
I know. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Ted Lasso. We're here to talk about one of the newest and very compelling sort of conspiracy thing. And this one's got... Guys, I think there might be more going on with this story than even what we've been told, and the way we're being told is freaking brilliant, in my opinion. It's definitely a cool way to show, like, oh yeah, here's all the stuff that was happening at the same time that this was going on. And it's just... Yeah, so real quick, non-spoiler overview for me. I'm thoroughly enjoying this after 2 episodes. What really brought me into this world was the soundtrack. Any of you who actually know me know that when I learned to actually play a musical instrument years ago, John, you of course remember this, I really got into movie soundtracks, especially for Star Trek, Star Wars. I had a new appreciation because I could actually hear the different instruments this time, and I could I could feel how music's ability to just bring you into a universe. Like, imagine Star Wars without Star Wars. Okay, just watch Kenobi.
Dude, wait,
and you'll understand what Star Wars without proper Star Wars music is. It's bad.
I have an even worse analogy. Complete rabbit trail. I was watching this show on Netflix and I was like really into it, but I was also playing Call of Duty at the same time, and I was running dual sound through my headphones and the show, and I was so into the show. But at one point I like paused the game and I took one of my headphones off, and I like always have one ear in for like whatever show I'm watching, and I realized that all of the music was the Call of Duty music. And the show actually 40% integrity, because I started listening to the Ghost soundtrack alone, and I was like,
"God damn, this show's got a great soundtrack."
Yeah, it was. That's how important music is here.
Really exciting.
Oh my God! Oh, John, that is
awesome, dude.
That is amazing. Call of Duty soundtrack made a show better.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's honestly the best part of all games.
The repetitiveness. It was literally like sometimes I would sit on the same screen where it's like dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, it's got the background.
And the composer's just on point.
The story, I was like at one point, dude, there was this epic speech going on. I was like, wow, I feel really empowered. And then it was like 2 minutes later, I took the headphones off and realized that it was part of the like loading screen, like amp you up for the round mixed with that speech. And that was like doing it all the service, because like the speech was like really like standard weak, but the music always gets you, man. So the Mongols use drums.
Yeah, it's like why it's like it makes you wonder about the president's speech in Independence Day. Like, if you have, like, Mary Had a Little Lamb playing in the background, that speech is not nearly as impacting as the way it should be.
There's a theme song to the Wiggles to amp everybody up.
Right, yeah.
No.
If you listen to any song other than John Williams' soundtrack over the Obi-Wan Anakin fight, it is literally just two dudes with sticks.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay, but also, like, meh.
Yeah, as I said on the Star Wars special on Thursday, the thing that really, just brings the emotional hype in the Episode 6 best lightsaber fight in all of Star Wars moment is the music, the soundtrack, because it's Williams. He basically just, along with Luke's emotions, tears, into it with just this very moving yet subtle monk.
He writes all the years of feelings that were never expressed.
Exactly. And it's like in such a powerful, in such a powerful way that you wouldn't expect, like low, octave frequency chanting monks. And yet it's like one of the best fight scenes
What is
because
that
of
like?
it.
Palpatine? Is it Palpatine's theme where it's like,
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I think part of I think the actual music in that scene, I think the actual composition is called Tears of the Fates.
Yeah.
Which is what that is. I mean, father,
Yeah.
son, like completely detached, especially when you're at the weight of the prequels. Like Anakin literally thought he lost everything and then met his son at first in battle.
Yeah.
Like that's an awkward, meet your dad story.
Yeah. You take that song out of it, you have Mark
it's
Hamill
okay.
screaming no. You have him hitting the sticks hard. You kind of like feel the passion, but it's just
We've had times where we had to watch it on mute as children and it was boring or quieter than we were yelling. And it was like, okay, yeah, like let's watch the good lightsaber fights. Let's go watch Obi-Wan and Anakin because they had better lighting, better CGI. That's why I get so frustrated. Is like the writing's always been there. The music's always been there. Now the CGI's like caught up and somehow the other two just vanished. And then you see these writer strikes and you're like, oh, they weren't paid.
But getting back to Silo,
well, that's my
Right.
point is I have to recommend Silo purely, but like the second that I was in the first like 5 minutes, I was like, I'm here. I'm for it. Let's go. I give a shit about all these people now, and I want to know what the hell is going on. And so, yeah, totally. If you want to start Silo, absolutely. If you're waiting until all the episodes dropped, I'll get back to you.
yeah, I mean, to me, that like, okay, the first 20 minutes of this feels like, what if you bought Fallout on Wish? Like it feels like a very blatant ripoff of Fallout. But when the actual plot kicks in to gear and you start seeing everything going on, that's when this series comes alive and really comes into its own. And you start getting these like, I don't know, am I dealing with Fallout or am I dealing with like an Aperture Lab, right? Like
That's yes. Hit some Portal vibes in the second episode.
Right?
Definitely.
like you start kind of wondering that, and then you start, and then things carry on and you're like, no, I'm not in either of those games. I'm in something totally unique. And I will say this, the reveals on the minor mysteries we've gotten so far, just in the first 2 episodes, just these really minor ones, are so damn good that when they start, getting into the major stuff, like, that's gonna be deep. Like, there's got to have been some organization that built this thing. Like, I'm gonna call them Vault Tech for now until I've got a better name, right? But like, I want to know what Vault Tech has really been up to, right? Like, I want to know why the mayor is not the one actually in control of this place. I want to know, why they feel the need to, like, keep these secrets. And that's really deep. And, the characters that we've gotten, like, you would expect in less than 2 hours, we wouldn't get deep enough characters that I want to know more. But we did. And see, even some of the minor characters, some of the characters, like, we shouldn't care about, I really do. Right? There's this, like, this isn't really spoilery, but there's this one cop that works on the bottom floor of this bomb shelter that, like, now I'm actually concerned for this dude, right? And
Yeah.
like he's really just there as like exposition-o man, and yet I'm sitting there going like, no man, I want to make sure this guy makes it home.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just like it's genuine concern. I'm like,
right,
for like
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
and like, we're like, how are these poor people being manipulated, and like, why? And all of these pieces, and I can't wait to see how they pull together. Part of this is, like, what the hell is going on the outside of the silo, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, yeah, we'll
I can't wait to get into more spoilery stuff, but for now, that's all I can say.
Any quick last comments for just non-spoiler overview?
Well, okay, so I will say, I didn't get the chance to finish the 2 episodes.
Oh man.
Shame.
In
Shame.
the first,
Oh, man.
all the way up to the
Shame.
theme song,
Yeah, we gotta get a chick with the bell to follow
Shame.
behind.
I was
John.
hooked immediately.
Shame.
If I wasn't so tired,
Shame.
I would continue.
Shame.
But
Shame.
in those,
Shame.
like,
A little
this
help.
This is the preposition
Shame.
for everybody else trying to decide
Shame.
if they want to watch it. Like in those,
I need to
5
think of a
minutes,
way to incentivize you to not bail on your homework, damn it.
It's fantastic. Like I hear you guys talking about like the twist that you already get, and like for me, like one of the most obvious ones is the screens. Like they're the worst version of like picture in a camera that I've seen. And also like Apple's never had bad film yet. Like it's never been that bad, so it has to be a story element to me. And that's just in literally the first 2 minutes, or like whatever between the beginning scene and the credits is. I was like, okay,
Well,
there's already programming.
Well, like all of the computers in the silo kind of have this retro future thing going, where like the interface looks like it's from the 80s. So I don't blame the video quality at all, because like the rest of the quality of the the aesthetic matches it.
No, yeah, no, that's why I say it was definitely like very apparent to me that it was a story element.
I also,
Yeah.
It was not a prop failure. It was literally like right in the first 5 minutes, I was like, something's going on, something's wrong, and that was it. Like that's all I've got so far. But like that's what I mean by how good this show is like literally in that scene. If I wasn't tired, I was hooked already.
It's absolutely bone chilling, this show. Like there's been like 4 or 5 moments where your blood just runs absolute cold with like existential dread. I'm just like, bro, I got a very sick masochist for like existential dread. Like, whoa, love that stuff. The 3-body problem is awesome.
then I recommend
Holy
watching.
smokes.
I recommend watching Free Solo then, if you haven't already.
Oh, dude, yeah, that is so good. Have you seen
So
The
well.
Alpinist? Have you seen The Alpinist?
No.
Marc-Andre Leclerc? Watch it. So good. So it's just as good, if not better, than Free Solo. Free Solo is awesome.
I know, it always gets
If you
my
like Free Solo,
palms
you'll
sweaty.
love The Alpinist. The
Yeah.
Alpinist is great.
No, I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, all right. So I think we've covered all the non-spoilers. We recommend if you aren't watching this show, you should. And if you don't believe us and need more proof, well, we have entered spoiler territory. I think the best part about talking spoilers this far, though, is actually it's not really going to ruin a whole lot for John, because we still have no idea what the hell's going
Yeah,
on.
we
in these
No.
two
still barely have
episodes.
any
I'm
idea what the
fucking
hell is
baffled.
going on.
Like, a
Well,
lot
baffled.
happens, but wow, do we just know nothing.
A little behind the scenes, I switched to watching this. I want to figure out what's going on. I'm so hooked.
Oh,
Your guys'
oh my God.
enthusiasm made
Okay,
me
so first-
enthusiastic. I'm doing this.
Okay, so first I'm just gonna put this out there. Man, the sheriff's wife, like,
And
gut-wrenching. What happens?
Yeah,
to her,
dude. Holy fuck.
Right?
Sorry.
Yeah, like that. No,
This
dude,
one.
justified.
It
man.
was, yes, absolutely.
And I mean, like, and then the sheriff, like, just the grief, and then realizing, wait a minute, she may not be dead. And that being even worse, right? Like, can you imagine, like, literally you are living, for 2 years in a place where every time you go by a monitor, you're seeing your dead wife?
Her body's just laying there like 30 feet out. You just have to see it every day. Oh my God.
right? Like,
Jesus.
I can't think of a deeper form of torture, right? And then you actually get outside. She ain't there,
Yeah. And she's not there. Yeah.
right? You know, for all you know, she's like found a mango tree and is just hanging around it, right? Like, you know, or like she's like
But, like-
discovered the Mai Tai bush or something. Like, who knows, right? Like,
I'm just
oh my
baffled
God.
by the fact that when he like pulls off his helmet though, and you still see it from his perspective, and you're like, but why?
We don't see anything from his perspective after he pulls his helmet off. That's the real kick in the balls. And it's like, what does he see?
Okay, yeah.
Does he actually see her lying there, or is he?
Well, no,
is it?
When we see the scene, if you slow it down, because I did, right? There is no other bodies in view in that
Right,
whole
when
area.
he's in the nice land, yeah.
Yeah, there's no other bodies in view at all, and you know he's not like you sit there going like they must have found shelter or a decent place to go near enough to this crater that the silo is in to be able to live, man. And that's crazy.
They get thrown out of the silo, and they all swear tooth and nail that God damn it, I'm not gonna clean the thing. Like, screw you guys. I bullet in my head, I'm not cleaning it. He goes out there and cleans it. It's like
They always clean.
But that's because
they always clean it.
Yeah, but that's because they're trying to show everybody they're no, it's actually good out here. You guys are being
I don't know
ridiculous.
that it is though. That's the problem. Is I think they were projecting all of that in the helmet.
I do
You think
too.
so, huh?
I do,
Yeah.
because when he takes it off, the camera is fixated right on his face, so we don't actually know if he sees happy unicorn fairy tale dust land or, depressed Detroit looking land. I mean, it's we just don't know, and so that's why I'm just like, and I knew this was good. This obviously is going to be the big tease for the whole season. Is like we aren't actually going to find out probably until the very end. But instead, the show's going in a direction that I honestly didn't see coming, because I think the thing is, the surface is a red herring. The show's real focus is about that tunnel.
Down below.
Yeah.
It's so deeply compelling, I just almost can't bear it.
And I mean, okay.
The only
So
way
here's
out is
another-
to go down.
And here's the other piece of it that I noticed that like I'm really curious about now, because they keep mentioning about like the computer or the system or whatever, right? Who's actually in control of that computer, or are they being controlled by computer?
Yeah.
Like, are we dealing with a freaking God, the AI, the homicidal AI from Portal? Are we dealing with that, or are we dealing with something else?
Looking at the computers and thinking about, the display stuff for Borderlands and for Fallout, as well as what was the one you just listed?
Portal.
Portal. Well, I don't know about Portal, but I mean, between Fallout and Borderlands, to what John was saying, what you guys are hinting at, I could see them deciding to tie this into one of those universes very easily. And, like, this could be the jumping off point for a potential TV series about Fallout or whatever. Because, I mean, you're right. It does feel like... I don't know. I like it so far. I mean...
Yeah.
It's taking turns that I did not expect. And, yeah, what a rough 2 years. I get up before the sun's up. And I leave after this. I don't go home until after the sun's down, because I don't want to walk past and see her every single day. It's just like, ugh.
Right?
Man.
Gotta walk through the cafeteria. Ugh. And is every window that same display?
Yeah, it's the same camera. That's just rough, man.
Just like being on a national security cutter. You get your one channel to tune into the ship's FLIR camera that's mounted on the top, and everybody gets the same view because there are no windows. except
Every
on the bridge.
request to leave the silo is granted. No takebacks. No exceptions.
Yeah, exactly.
I want out. That's it. You gonna go out.
You
That's
just
it.
committed
Over.
suicide.
That's it.
Yeah, no, that's some. I want to. I want to know, like, first of all, yeah, that's the other thing. Like, it's obvious social commentary to what's going on in our world. All the veils that are getting ripped off right now are finding out that, oh, hey, as it turns out, there's just a few thousand details throughout most of human history that point out that we've just been manipulated by some families into hating each other over dumb reasons. But, you wouldn't know that because most of our history was deleted, and we just assume that the rebels were the bad guys and the founders are the good guys because that's what history says, and therefore it must be true.
I'm gonna actually pose this piece to you, okay? I'm calling my shot right now. There was no rebellion. There absolutely was no rebellion. That the getting rid of relics, getting rid of the past and everything is a method of control by whatever the hell is controlling this silo.
Oh, the rebellion was definitely created by the controlling state. Absolutely.
I don't think a rebellion happened at all, man. Or if it happened,
I think it totally did, and it was a false flag rebellion all around. Absolutely.
It makes no sense to me that they can't have relics from the past, like innocent things. Like, I can understand why they can't have an old hard drive with schematics with a silo in it, or anything like that. But like a Pez container, like this is a relic from the past. You can't have this. This is a punishable offense. You can be sent out to clean for this. It's like, Jesus, like, why? Like, it's presented that it's a tragedy that their past has been erased, but nobody's allowed to have these simple items from the past. It doesn't make any sense.
It absolutely does.
Fallout sense.
Well, no.
As far as like a controlled experiment, like all of these, like it really does feel like. I don't know for sure because I obviously.
Oh, you guys think it's rats in a maze?
But far, just like based off your guys' discussion and what I'm already seeing so far, I'm watching it 2 times speed so I can hear the details, see the details, but not paying attention. I really want to rewatch it. I'm already excited. I love Anne from Parks and Rec. She's one of my favorite actresses, so great to see her in something more like thrilling.
Yeah.
But on top of that, like, the way I'm seeing it, like Skogly, to your point, like I really do think that the main thing about the relics is this is like, what if they started a social experiment that was borderline culty, but they always kept that one rule: if you want out, you're out. Like, don't take it back, no take backs. Like, that's choice, and we're not going to take that from you. But like, it got dark. Like Stanford Prison Experiment 140 years later.
See, my theory on what's going on is whoever is in charge of this, whether it's an AI, whether it's some overseer dude, like whatever it is, okay, intentionally erased the past and is doing everything they can to erase the past as a method of thought control, right? Because if they make the past dangerous, right, they prevent people from being curious about the outside. And the reason why you can go outside if you want to, but we see the bodies of everyone who went out.
Yeah, I mean,
the reason why they set that up is purely because they want to make sure it's a message to everybody else to never try it.
It reminds me of a red revolution in the eastern part of the world. Like, they literally eliminated all of the school teachers, and still to this day very censor like the amount of history people are allowed to learn. So it's a very like doctored and controlled, like slow drip. And so like even the like big stories of the chaos are just littered among the mundane and the monotonous of like, this has always worked, stop making it not work. Yeah, there was, all right, okay, maybe might have been some chaos, but like a long time ago, let it go, don't think about it, look at the monotony, look at the system. And like, there's a lot of studies that show that works, like Stockholm Syndrome, loving your captor. Eventually, like if you keep getting gaslit enough, you're going to believe that like, why even bother looking? It's going to get you hurt for no reason. Because A, it's just history. It's just an artifact. It's just a piece of plastic. Like, why should I care? But then also be like, it also doesn't matter because they keep telling me it doesn't matter. And at this point, I just don't have time to care. Like
Yeah,
that's
you notice that too, that everyone is kept very busy, right?
yeah.
Absolutely.
Like everybody has a job all the time, every time.
Everything is like
Where
sanctioned.
where have we seen this? It's like
Hmm.
we seems familiar. Oh, it's our existence right now. Just imagine the silo is planet Earth, and you can't go beyond planet Earth because you'll die, right? Because there's no oxygen. All right, that's probably true. Actually, there is oxygen, just very thin. No, it's brilliant social commentary. It's one of the reasons H. Marie's a little disenfranchised at the moment, because she's like, oh, this type of story has been played out, and I'm like, well, let's just see how it goes, because it's going directions that at first, yeah, it definitely sets it up the usual dystopia. We're controlling all the information, no one's allowed to do anything. But now we're figuring out that the way out's probably further down. I'm convinced that I feel like there's a third thing that we're just not considering here. And that's because, like I said, we don't actually see what he sees after he takes his helmet off. Whether he actually sees the shitty environment that's projected on their world, or whether he sees the nice place that he saw through his helmet that looks like it could just be a 3D projected environment in there. I don't know what he saw, so the speculation kind of.
Oh, 100%. There could be this massive twist that, like, the outside is actually like some sort of holographic projection, and like when you walk out, some like science geeks come over and are like, "So congratulations, you found your way out of the maze," right? Like that could 100% happen, right? Like we don't know, but it'll be super interesting to find out.
Like basically, they
what if
just.
this is like a way of like like people always talk about like sheeple and stuff. Like everybody who just stays in here and never declares their anonymity and their own personhood.
I am leaning towards that what we see projected in the silo after they leave is after they leave, they see that, right? And they see them walking around and they clean it. That's all real. Okay, but after they die, I think that once night comes along, that's when they, the video goes on a loop because it's at night. They already have footage of him there. So they probably might even wait like a whole day so they could cycle it, right? So then they have the footage playing. So then they go and then they wake him up and they're like, hey, you escaped the maze. Come enjoy the rest of this. No, you can't rescue your friends because that's not part of the game. Oh, and here's your wife, by the way. She got remarried. Sorry. So...
And also, here's your money for participating. Your family's the one that originally, like it could be that like a very like, or even more.
Oh my gosh, are you going the Severance route, where it just turns out they've only been there for like a couple of years as part of a social experiment, and they had their minds wiped?
Well, no, that's not the social. It's not a social experiment yet. Like it's still like an ongoing experiment in maintaining office in anonymity, and they're trying to replicate it for the whole world, which is just dystopian nightmare. But that Severance, I was thinking more along the island with Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, where it turns out they're all clones, and this is how you get rid of the anomalies. You literally let them out.
Yeah, no, I think that the hard drive might be. This is why I think that the rebellion was also either didn't happen as Corione suggests, or if it did, it was a red herring element of the state to create chaos to justify erasing history. But they keep some of it that they disseminate every now and then to see what people are going to get curious about it. And then if they get curious about it, who else they're going to tap to get curious about it. So as they start to get more and more curious, people go, no, man, it's all a lie. I found the file. It's all nice up there. And then they go, all right, I want to go out. And then they go out, and then they have the helmets projecting that nice environment that they saw on the hard drive. But really, that's just how they get rid of the ones that they don't want disrupting the order.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll grant you that that's possible. I don't know, man. I'm hoping that they go the Vault-Tec route and, like, there's actually multiple silos out there, and each one has its own, like, weird experiment stuff going on. Like, I want to find the like, you know,
The
the
cabin
vault
in the
that's-
woods.
Well, I was gonna go with the vault that's like, you know, started with
Everybody's
100
name
women
is
and one
Bruce.
dude, right? Yeah, or like everybody's named Bruce or something like.
Everyone's got
you know,
the last name Johnson.
Or like, what is it? It's like 15 girls, 15 guys, and one puma, right? Like that's how the whole thing got started. Like, you know, I don't know, or like one dude and an army of sock puppets. Like, I want to see crazy vaults, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's it's going places.
My question
What?
is, why are they cleaning a projection at all? And like,
Because it's
I do get the like
Muted.
social manipulation aspect
Scogly's
of
muted.
it.
Because like there's a projection, there's this window in the cafeteria to show all the civilians that it's nasty outside, and
Right.
when they
But
go
why is it-
outside, they're like,
The
you have to.
camera's dirty.
The
Okay.
camera lens is dirty. They go out there and they're like, they get sent
like
out
the
to
front
clean it,
door,
but
like,
they're like,
they
you're
open
outside
up.
the law. Nobody can
Or-
make you clean it. And everybody swears they won't clean it when they go out, but they go out and then they clean it every time. It's crazy.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
like
right.
I feel like,
like,
if
I
I was
just
the guy
watched-
who walked out, I'd be putting more mud on it.
Well, no, so
Yeah.
I just watched her explain it to him. She said, if it is what I think it is, I will wave back and I won't clean it. If it's not,
I'll not clean it. I'll wave goodbye. It was the biggest mistake of my life. But if it's beautiful out there, I'm going to come forward. I'm going to clean the lens and I'm going to walk over the hill. That's what she does, except she dies on the ground as she tries to walk up the hill. That's what they see, though.
Right. So what if that's not what happened? What if
That's
that
not
is
what
really
happened.
just like-
I think she just walks off the hill and then like an AI program just takes the image and they're like, nah, she dies here. Boop.
That's what yeah, something like
Like,
that
what
too.
if it was
Deep
one of
fake
the
it.
They deep
original
fake, yeah,
followers?
what happens,
What if
yeah.
what if the top is clean now? And so, like, what if they're literally playing legitimate recycled footage from the beginning, from the first exit?
No,
And so it is always the same, like, I'll clean it and walk away.
no,
and, like,
it's no, because when she dies, she's there at the yeah, she's there forever, along with all the other dead guys.
No,
out
I
there.
know, but that's what they've been leaving it at. Because the sheriff, the main person the AI needs to keep order and discipline, needs to see his dead wife on the hill at all times.
Yeah.
Like, and what if it is not, like, what if it's just a matching suit and it's legitimately like, no, this guy died a long time ago.
H. Marie writes in,
Marie.
I think the suits poison them to make it look like they die. Then there is a colony somewhere over the horizon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think H. Marie's probably.
I'm on
pretty
board
close
with
to
that.
Yeah.
A giver type situation.
Because he starts to choke out and he like pulls his helmet off and they're all like, watch like nobody's ever pulled their helmet off before, and then he just dies on the ground. But that's
Yeah, I was actually
obviously
Yeah, I was
not
actually
what's
thinking
happening.
more like the Maze Runner. Actually, if you guys have ever seen that,
Heard of it?
and if you haven't, it's worth checking out. But yeah, I don't know, man. You know what the other piece of this that got me was the last few minutes of the second episode, where she's dangling over the water. And hear
she
me out
drops
on
the
this.
light.
Yeah, but did you notice something? She
kept
dropped the
going.
light. No, but she dropped the light. The light only kept going for a few minutes and then it vanished. I don't know how much you guys know about how lights and water work. That would have you would have seen that light for a long time in a cave. A very long time. It should have hit bottom and you'd still see that light. The fact that it just kind of vanished either tells me that somebody on the EP team was not paying attention to how the real world works, or
Something deeply horrifying just happened.
yeah, there's something shady going on in that tunnel as well.